Fine. So it is similar like a hash set, except that it sorts the element in the ascending order. In hash sets, you can store the elements in the hash coding, in the coding which is given by the hash code, whereas in tree set, as soon as you insert the elements, it will be arranged in the ascending order. And tree allows null element, even hash set allows null element, but a tree set and hash set does not allow duplicate elements. Duplicate elements you can have in the array list and linked list. So when you understand the basic features of any collection or every collection, you will understand when you are trying to apply storing the data in Java, what collection you have to use. Fine. So now here the tree implements a navigable set interface by inheriting abstract set classes. So I need to inherit the abstract set class. Same way I need to implement it for the hash set also. So these are the basic features of your tree set class. Now in Java tree set class, it contains a unique elements which is similar like your hash set. So a unique element will be assigned to a tree set and you cannot have a duplicate value. But here the elements are stored and sorted in the ascending order. In hash set, it is stored, but not in the ascending order. It is stored and the hash code. Now, in tree set, because it is stored in the ascending order, we see that the access and the retrieval of the elements are quick and fast, because they know if I have a number which is already sorted in the ascending or descending order, I can easily retrieve it fast. Then tree set does not allow null element. There is some confusion. Tree set allows null element. This statement is wrong. I'll just change. And tree class is non-synchronized. The other previous session, we have seen the what do you mean by synchronized? What do you mean by non-synchronized? Is it what with your class or division? We are not sure. We try to clear the concept of synchronization. So you all know the concept of synchronization. What do you mean by synchronize? Because since many sessions we have seen that a vector is synchronized, tree is not synchronized. So you know the concept of synchronize. What do you mean by synchronize? If anybody of you can just unmute and tell now, it will be easy because I have to go into the chat and then check. Okay. So now see, what do you mean by synchronization? So before starting with synchronization, you know, what do you mean by multitasking? What is multitasking? I can do n number of tasks at the same time, right? So now you are writing some notes, you are listening to the lecture, same way you might be watching something, other things on the screen. So these three things you are doing together. That means you are doing multitasking things, right? So we say that Windows supports multitasking, right? So that means I can do 2 or 3 or more than that at a time. But if I ask you that maybe you have a pen in your hand, you're writing your notes, and the same time I ask you to type something on the computer, are you able to do that at a single time? No. First, you need to stop writing and then start typing on the computer. So that means you cannot do the same task with the same organ, right? So same time you are listening to me, you are typing. Same time you're watching the screen, you are typing. So multitasking happens when you're using different organs. So you have different organs to do the things. So multitasking won't be possible if you're using the same organ, right? So suppose if I ask you to see on the screen, same time if I ask you to look out of the window, then same time you're not able to do two things together, right? Because the organ used is one. So similar concept we have in programming is called as your threading. I don't know if you have done with the multi-threaded concept. So in that case, individual thread is doing individual task. So when I say synchronization, that means I need to stop till one thread completes its task, and then only I can start. So that is synchronization. So parallelly, both the threads cannot be active, right? So when I say vectors and trees are not synchronized, that means they can access 2 threads at a time. So that means I can do multitasking because 2 different threads are working and they don't have any correlation in between them, right? But when I say synchronize, that means if only one thread stops, the other has to be started. Now a simple example I can give of this is, you have seen the traffic signal. So what happens when you have the red signal, you have to stop. So when the signal goes off, it goes to orange. So in that time, the red is off and only then orange comes. And after that, the green comes and the orange is off. So only when one task or one thread has finished its execution, then only the next thread or the next task starts its execution. That is synchronization. You cannot have a signal with all red, green and orange together unless and until it is a faulty. So that time I cannot have all the three tasks or all the three threads to be active at a time, right? Because they are interrelated. Same way, you can have one red signal going on the other signal you can have a green signal going on. Why? So those are non-synchronized. Why non-synchronized? Because they are totally two different signals, right? So no correlation between them. So when you are working on a particular collection or a set, when I say it is non-synchronized, that means totally two different threads are working and they have no correlation between each other. They can work parallelly, right? Or they can work collectively. But when I have to correlate with them, when there is interconnection with them, then I say it is synchronized. So vectors, I said, is synchronized. Tree set is non-synchronized, right? So this is a simple term. Anyways, in advanced Java, you have a chapter called as multi-threaded programming, wherein you have different programs with which we are going to write two programs with synchronized pattern and one with an unsynchronized keyword. So you will understand what happens if I skip the word synchronized and if I put the word synchronized. So same program you are going to write with the synchronized keyword. Fine. So as of now, in the non-programming language, I have tried to tell you the concept of synchronized and non-synchronized. In that practical session also in multi-threaded, you have this example of traffic signal where you are going to write a program, you are going to create an interface wherein you are going to execute the program of the traffic signal. So what happens until and unless one signal stops, the other is not going to make it active. Clear with this? So that is a basic feature of your tree class. And then they say that Java tree class maintains ascending order. Now let us see the constructor of tree set. Now tree set, again, you know the constructors. When I have to create the tree set class, the first is the default. That means it is going to create an empty tree set object in which the elements will be stored in default. So I'm not creating any, I'm not passing any parameters in the parenthesis. This is an empty tree set which is being created. Second is I try to use a comparator. Now this is basically when I want to compare it with the previous thing, then I have to pass a comparator and the object of the comparator, because we know everything in Java has to be a class. So comparator is a class, iterator is a class, so I need to create an object of it. Again, I am saying comparator, enumerator, iterator classes we are going to study in detail. So I can create a tree set constructor by using the comparator. I can create a tree set by a previous existing array list, linked list, hash set, vector, any of them. So a basic collection which you already have, you can insert it in the tree set, right? So there I pass in the parenthesis your collection. The object of it will be COL. So collection class you pass and the object of it. Or you can create a tree set with the sorted set. Now sorted set also is a collection which you have wherein all the elements are sorted in there, so that I can created. So these are the 4 constructors with which you can create a tree set class. Now let us see the methods on it. Now methods we have seen for the previous collection. So similar methods we have, some methods we might have additionally. So first method is to add an object to the tree set. So add method you have, and you pass the parameter here object O. So this method is going to add specified element according to some sorting order. Now again I am repeating, tree set will not have duplicate value. So if you try to add a duplicate value, it will be not added in the tree set. Fine, because duplicate entries are not allowed in tree set. Similarly, if I want to add an entire collection, let's say you have created an empty constructor and now you want to add a collection to that. So in that case,
your phone has no data.
So in that case, I use the method add-on and I pass the collection C. And then if the collection is inserted, it is going to return me true. If not, then it is going to return false. So a boolean. Now again, duplicate entries of the collection. Let's say you have got a name in collection array list, and in tree set also you have the same name, but when you are trying to add it, when you are trying to add the array list to this tree set, if there is a duplicate value, that particular entry or that particular element will not be added in the tree set. Clear? So it will skip that if already exists in your tree set. So you have to work on this, that if you want the duplicate entries, we have taken the example of a shop wherein we had duplicate customers when I have multiple customer coming to me. So in that case, I cannot use the tree set. Fine. The next method is when I want to remove all the elements from the collection, I use the method clear. So void clear. Now I want to check if an element exists in the collection. I pass the object parameter and with the content. So see, this method we have already seen in the previous collection. Now, if you want to retrieve the first element, so I just use the method first here, right? So first it will return the first element which is there in the tree set. So the return type is object. Then if I want to retrieve the last element, the last method is used and the return type is object. Now, if I want to have a sorted set head set, this method will return elements of the tree set which are less than the specified element. So here, if I want, now as we know, the elements in tree set are stored in the sorted order. So let's say I have inserted numbers 20 to 80 in my tree set, right? So when I insert it, maybe I insert 20, then 89, 79, then 69, then 12, and so on. So at randomly, I'm inserting the numbers, but when it is storing in the tree set, it will automatically be sorted. So if I want to sort, I want to sort the number range from 30 to 40. So in that case, I can use a sorted set head set. So wherein I want that all the numbers before 30. So I can put a clause here. So object to element and object from element. So I can create a head set and I can create a tail set. Clear? So these two methods we can use when we have to use the tree set, when we have to create a subset from that. Now subset method we have seen in vectors, also in hash set, when we give the from index and the to index. So they are inclusive and exclusive. Here you just passing the greater number. So if I say I want all the numbers which are less than 30, so I pass the head set here. So all the numbers less than 30 will be sorted. If I say all the numbers greater than 40, so from element, so the tail set, greater than 40, the tail set. So the previous part and the next part. So your head and the tail. Similarly, if you want to create a subset, then you need to give to range, from and to element. So this is like your range method which we have used. So there you give the first index and the last index. Here you give less than 30, greater than 40, or whatever element you want. So sorted subset. So sorted subset will have three methods: head set, tail set, and a subset, which will pass two arguments, from element and the two elements. Clear? Then you have the method which is empty. So if you want to check whether the tree set has any elements or any elements exist in the tree set, you use the method is empty. If there are elements, it will return false. If there are no elements, that means the tree set collection is empty. It is going to return true. Then when I have to create a copy of the tree set collection, we have the method clone. Now this clone method we have also used for previous collection when I want to create an exact copy of the shell of the set. Then size is used to check the size or the number of elements which are present in the set. So if I want to know the size or the collection of the tree set, I print the method size. Then remove an object, remove and pass the parameters. Boolean is the return type. Then iterator, it is used for returning the iterating object when we are trying to traverse through the collection. Then again comparator. Now here, if you check the spellings, iterator is a class, iterator is a method. So capital I and method small I. Similarly, comparator is the class, comparator is a method. So then Again, comparator will be class will always have a capital C, methods have a small case. So these two methods I can use when I have to run or traverse through my collections. So these are the methods of the tree set. Now we'll do hash set and then we'll see the practical aspect. Now again, the hash set or linked hash set is the last collection in your set interface. List interface we have done, set interface we have done. So linked hash set is an implementation of the set interface. Now it is similar like your hash set and your tree set, but the only difference between a hash set, tree set and the linked hash set, they have given it here. Hash set does not maintain any kind of order. So hash set, as soon as you insert the elements, it will be stored in the collection with the hashing code. Tree set will store it in the ascending order, and link set will maintain the insertion order. The elements get sorted in the same sequence in which they have been added to the set. So it will just add. Now linked set we have done. Remember linked set. So what happens in linked set? Linked list previous or the next address of the next element is stored there. Linked set will also give you the address of the next, but it will store based on the hashing code here, right? So as and on you put on the elements, it is going to store that. So linked hash set. Linked hash set is implemented of the set interface. So linked hash set and linked list are totally two different collections. Only thing, the linked word is common, otherwise there is no similarity between linked hash set and the link. Apart from that, only thing you have to understand that two elements in linked list and two elements in linked hash set are linked, but the way they are linked is a different thing, or the way they are stored, because again the linking will be respect to your previous and the next. So when the storage is different, the storing of the linked hash set and the linked list will be different. Now, to create the constructor of the linked list, we have seen here the linked list hash set. That is a default constructor. It creates an empty constructor with the initial capacity as 16 and load factor as 0.75. Now, this initial capacity we have seen for the vectors. Initial capacity was 10 and the load factor was 0.7. Similar capacity I can have for the linked hash set. Similarly, I can create another constructor, linked hash set, which is collection. I can create a collection and create the linked hash set. Then third constructor, linked hash set with the initial capacity, I can give the initial capacity, and then the default load factor is 0.75. I think we have done an example on vector where we had kept the link capacity of 2, and at dynamic time the vector size increased when we inserted elements in that. Now fourth constructor is linked hash set, wherein the initial capacity and you have the float load factor. So I create a empty linked hash set and specify the initial capacity. So for a default collection, initial capacity, and float load factor. Now why I'm repeating all these constructors? Because in your theory questions, you might get explain the constructors of any of the collections. So you need to understand how many constructors are there for any collection. So these constructors you need to understand. Now, again, adding the elements in linked hash set are similar. You add the elements, you remove the elements. So method remains more or less similar because there are no additional methods in linked hash set. So add method and remove method. So here they have given you an example of linked hash set. So linked hash set again is a package in the package util package. And I've created an example here. So first, creating the linked hash set, we have used the constructor, the default constructor. So default constructor, linked hash set. What is the hash set made up of? It is of the string data type. L hash set is the identifier or the variable name of linked hash set, and it is creating a new linked hash set of the string data. In linked hash set, I have added elements Z, P, Q, N, O, and so on. I'm printing it to display the hash set. Again, a new hash set has been created, new linked hash set. Again, in that the numbers are put in and they have printed it. So similarly, just adding the elements and displaying. So here they have given you what you have done. Clear? So this is the end of your set interface. So in previous lecture, we have done the vectors, and before that we had done the hash set. Today we did the tree set, methods on tree set. We did the linked hash set and the constructor of linked hash set. Clear with this? So these are the references. Anyways, I've given you the reference links also and the compiler also. Fine. So now we have finished with the basic set interfaces. So let's see some practical side of it. So link has it, the same program, you have it here. So how do you try to add the elements and take the output, right? So tree set, we'll see one example. So tree set, they have added the element. Let's see how do you add the elements and how automatically it will be sorted. So we'll take this example of tree set. We'll just zoom the screen so the screen is visible to you. So here we can see preset util package created an example main method created tree set of strings. Now we in tree set is the object of the tree set. We have added ABC, string, test, pen, ink, and jack. So I have just inserted. These are not at all in the sorted order. Similarly, one more tree set has been created with the numbers 88, 7, 101, and so on. Right now, let us just check it out. And here, after inserting, they have printed the way T set. So T set, it will automatically sort it. Same way, the numbers will automatically be sorted. Look at the elements here when you display. So we had first put ABC, then we have put string, test, pen, ink, and jack. But when it is displaying, it will print ABC first, then ink, then jack, pen, string, test. Similarly, the numbers. So 0, 3, 7, 88, 101, and 22. So after, irrespective of your insertion, because it is a tree set, it will automatically sort the elements and print it as it is in the ascending order. Clear with this? So this is the main concept when we are storing the elements in the tree set. So you inserted as the way you want, but when you are storing it or when you are displaying it, it will be automatically displayed in the sorted order only. Fine. Now here we'll see a difference between, or how do you convert a hash set to a tree set. Here they have created two collections, one a hash set and one a tree set. Right now, hash set and the class, they have just written it so that you understand what is the class. So class is converting the hash set to a tree set. Now how do you create an hash set? Hash set, you give the data type, and H set, data type is string. You add the elements, element 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then again you print the hash set. Now I'm going to create the tree set. Right, I'm going to create the tree set with the hash set. So I'm going to put all this element in this tree set and I'm going to check it out. So this is the program they have given. See the execution. Public class. Now look at the elements here. Hash set. Now element 1, when we have inserted, is the screen visible? See, when we have inserted the element as element 1, 2, 3 and 4 in a sequence, right, in the hash set. But when I try to display the hash set, just check the output. The elements are displayed 4, 3, 2 and 1, because in hash set the elements are displayed according to the hash code, so they have stored it as it is. But when I try to print it in the tree set, again it is coming in the sequential order. So same insertion, but the elements, the display is different, right? So hash set has been converted to the tree set. So hash set at random, if you put the elements, let's say we try with numbers, you'll understand it more. Look at the numbers. Now, can you just tell me why the tree set is not showing you in the sorted order? Because it is considering it as a string, it is not considering it as a number. So it is not understanding the greater than value, because your tree set is string. Fine. So just check again in this hash set the numbers 88, 33, 21, 4 and how they are stored and how they are displayed it here. Fine. Clear? So this way you can convert an hash set into a different or a tree set. Fine. So we stop here today.